Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is May 28th, 2018. Over the last 7 to 10 days, I have been sharing about the importance of June 13th, 2018, which we will see is the Pentecost marker from 1948. Pentecost of 1948 was June 13th. Sivan 6 was Pentecost in 1948, June 13th. And so we have a 70-week prophecy that has not failed since the beginning of the timeline, 1947 to 2017, 1948 to 2018, and how everything is lining up with the year of Jubilee, with the 70 weeks of Daniel. And we do have one more marker within the 70-week prophecy that we need to watch. And there are very important details that tie everything together in the window of June 12th, June 13th, and June 14th of 2018. So we see the prophecy of the 70 weeks. 70 weeks have been determined from the order to restore Jerusalem. So we're watching the prophecy from 1948 to 2018. In 1947, we had the United Nations partition plan for the division of Palestine, and that happened on November 29th, 1947. 70 years and 7 days later, on December 6th, 2017, Donald Trump made the declaration. Really, in this last stretch, this kicked off the move to proclaim Jerusalem as Israel's capital. This was the beginning marker, and so it was right in line with the 70 years from the United Nations partition plan, December 6th, 2017. Then we had the 70-year anniversary from April 20th, which was IR 5 on the Hebrew calendar. April 20th, Israel celebrated their 70th anniversary. And this was when the escalation began in Syria. There was a gassing event that was blamed on Syria. Then Donald Trump bombed Syria. Then there was the escalation leading up to around April 20th. And so that was right in line again with the other date, with the next date of the rebirth of Israel. Then we come to May 14th, which was 70 years to the day from the restoration of Jerusalem, 70 years. On this day, the United States dedicated their embassy, and we had the Gaza riots, and so the escalation continues. Then it was a week later that we had Pentecost of 2018. And on this day, the news came out that the Pope said it's okay to be gay. God made you like this. And the United States brought the official announcement that they will soon be implanting RFID chips in their soldiers. So this is the official announcement of the mark of the beast to begin within the soldiers of the United States Army. Okay, so these two events happened on Pentecost. So up to here, we've seen that with every marker within the 70-week prophecy, there are major events. Okay? Major events. Now we have one more marker that we need to watch, and this is the actual date of Pentecost from 1948. 1948, Sivan 6 was June 13th. Now if we go 70 years from there, 70 weeks from there, then this brings us to June 13th, 2018. Now, when I first looked at this, the item that really struck me is the reason why is Donald Trump's meeting with with North Korea set for June 12th. And so we have a marker within the 70-week prophecy and how Donald Trump has been involved in each of the markers. And now we have another marker within the 70-week prophecy, June 13th, and there is a major, major event. This has been on again and off again and on again, and right now it is on. It is on. The summit is rescheduled for June 12th between the United States and North Korea. And we remember that the Bible says whenever it is that they are saying peace and security, then sudden destruction is to be instantly upon them, just as the pang of distress upon a pregnant woman, and they will by no means escape. So we do have within the timeline of the rebirth of Israel another marker, which is Pentecost 1948, Sivan 6, June 13th, bringing us to June 13th, 2018. We do have a marker of peace and security, a summit that is taking place. And as it says, when they are saying peace and security. So now, is this what the Lord wants us to see? Now, the other thing about the peace and security is that it's connected to the pang of distress upon a pregnant woman. And so it was just 9 months ago that we had the Revelation 12 sign and the birthing event in the heavens. And so we have a connection from September to June, okay? September to June brings us to this peace and security marker, and it talks about the pregnant woman. The pang of distress upon a pregnant woman. Well, here is our birth event in the heavens, plus 266 days from the Feast of Trumpets to June 13th, 2018. 266 days, 8 months and 24 days. Do we have to come to the full 9 months, or will it give birth, just as it says in the book of Isaiah, that before she reached her time, she gave birth? Okay, and so we have all these details. Then we do have the parable of the fig tree that reminds us. Now learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and put forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So you also, when you see all these things, know that it is near at the doors. And so we have a marker of the beginning of summer, which is June 21st. June 21st. Now, June 21st, from Feast of Trumpets in September, is exactly 9 months. But we have what it says here, summer is near. So whether it's on the 21st, or whether it is just before the 21st, on the 70-year marker from Pentecost in 1948, this is the window. I believe this is the window that everything is going to happen. Now, I have reason to believe that it will happen before the summer solstice, and this is what I'm sharing. But it might be just another sign if something major happens on the 14th or so, and it is not the absolute end. If there's something that happens on the 14th and it's not the rapture, then we have our window, our 7-day window from the 14th to the 21st. And that would also be valid within everything we are watching. But for right now, I see the signs leading to around the 12th, 13th, and 14th of June, and this is what I'm sharing. Now, on June 13th, which is the day, remember, June 13th is the day of Pentecost, 1948, Sivan 6. And so this is what first opened up to me this window, that marker there, okay? Well, within the date of 6/13, June 13th, we also have the connection to 613 commandments. 613 commandments in the Torah. And then there is another detail within the commandments that may link us to the Gregorian calendar. And this is very interesting, that it says within the 613 commandments, there are negative commandments that number 318. 365. Okay, 365. And so, is this a link to June 13th, 613 commandments, 365 negative commandments, somehow tying the commandments into the Gregorian calendar? Why are there 365 negative commandments? Okay, and so we saw on June 12th. On June 12th is the Peace and Safety Summit. June 13th is the Pentecost marker from 1948. It's connected to the number of commandments. And then it leads us to June 14th, which is Flag Day, which is very interesting. And this was the United States flag, I think, was dedicated in 1777. 1777. And that's an interesting connection to the year 5777. 1777 and 5777, and maybe how this is tied into the connection between the end of the Jubilee year and the day the flag was dedicated. But then we have this major link, okay, beyond just it being Flag Day, this major link to the birthday of Donald Trump. Now, there's very important information. Don't overlook this information. This is not just a coincidental piece of information. Donald Trump's birthday has been very important in the prophecies that we have been watching. Okay? Remember that Donald Trump, it was connected, his date of birth was connected when he was inaugurated president, how old he was when Israel was born, and all these details. Okay, there's 7 details here. You can stop the video and take a look at all of this, but it's all tied into the birthday of Donald Trump and the number 777. And many people relate this to the fact that this is proof that he's the 7th king, the 7th king of Revelation, and that he will last a short time, and then the 8th king will come back. And then the 8th king will come back. So we have all these details about the number 777 with Donald Trump. Now, is this just lucky or is this prophetic? Is there a reason that Donald Trump's birthday is tied in with all the prophecies? Okay, so we have on June 14th, the birthday of Donald Trump. Now, the other important aspect of this is that Donald Trump is going to be 72. 72 is a very important number in all the religions of the world. All the religions of the world have a very important details within the number 72. Okay, I did a full video on this when I talked about 612, the summit, 613 commandments, and 614 Donald Trump's 72nd birthday. If you want to go and see all those details, go back and watch that. And I will leave the links for all the videos I've done on June 13th. I'll leave the links in the description box and in a pinned comment within this video. And so you can go back and you can see the deeper explanation of all these details. And I don't want to get into that right now, but what I want to do is I want to show you that the number 72, okay, is an important number within all the religions. Okay, look at all the details that come out with the number 72. Okay? So we have a window here of June 12th through 14th. This directly ties us in to the final 70-year marker from 1948, which was the date of Pentecost, 1948. June 13th, 1948. And the prophecy is 70 weeks are determined. So Pentecost is central to this prophecy, the Feast of Weeks. 70 weeks are determined. And here we have our 70-year marker from Pentecost 1948. Okay? Now, Wednesday, June 13th is a dark moon. It's the dark moon. It's the beginning of the June moon cycle. The full moon of June is not until June 28th, but the cycle begins with the dark moon on June 13th. June moon is known as the lotus moon. The lotus moon. And we have a connection within iPet Goat 2 of the lotus. And this is where in the video, the lotus comes out and Obama puts his foot down upon a crown. Is this where Obama puts his foot down and takes his crown based on the lotus moon, the month of June of 2018? Now, before I close, I want to bring to everybody's attention that together with the lotus flower in the month of June, going back to May of 2017, we see that Donald Trump gifted the Pope with a sculpture of a lotus flower. So what does this have to do with June and the month of peace? Let's take a look at an article that was written that has to do with this exchanging of gifts. We can use peace, President Trump says after exchanging gifts with Pope. Pope Francis exchanges gifts with President Trump and his wife Melania at the Vatican on Wednesday. During papal audiences with heads of state, the exchange of gifts comes after the private encounter and at the end of the event. It offers the press a chance to witness the body of language of the two leaders and listen in as they explain their gifts. It also offers a glimpse of what the two leaders think of each other. For example, Pope Francis gave President Trump a large medallion depicting an olive branch as a symbol of peace. The Pope said, "I give this to you so that you can be an instrument of peace." The president replied, "We can use peace." Francis, who has made humility his hallmark, does not like flamboyant gifts, preferring those that are simple or creative. He appreciated President Barack Obama's 2014 gift of seeds from the White House garden that were later planted at the summer papal retreat at Castel Gandolfo. Past U.S. presidential gifts to popes have included a 19th century map from Bill Clinton to Pope John Paul II and a Steuben glass vase given to the same pope by Ronald Reagan. Lyndon B. Johnson gave Pope Paul VI an autographed photo and a bust of himself. Today, Trump presented the pontiff with a large boxed collection of Martin Luther King Jr.'s writings, 5 custom-bound books the U.S. civil rights leader wrote during his lifetime: Stride Toward Freedom, The Measure of a Man, The Strength to Love, Why We Can't Wait, and Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? Trump also presented the Pope with a small piece of granite from the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial in Washington, D.C., and a bronze sculpture titled Rising Above by the American sculptor Jeffrey Smith, representing hope for a peaceful tomorrow, according to the White House. In addition to his own gift of peace, the medallion, the Pope also gave the president the 3 documents he has written that he usually gives to visiting chiefs of states: Amoris Laetitia, Evangelii Gaudium, and Laudato Si. The last one reflects Francis' intense denunciation of the damage caused by humans throughout climate change, a topic on which Trump has a very different view. Francis described the document to Trump as on the care of our common home, the environment. Thanking the Pope for the documents, the president said, "Well, I'll be reading them." So this exchange of gifts between Donald Trump and the Pope, including the sculpture of the lotus plant, had everything to do with the declaration of world peace. And it's all could be tied into what we're watching in June, the lotus moon that begins on June 13th. We have the Peace and Security Summit, and we have the 70th anniversary of Pentecost from 1948, all tied in with the birthday of Donald Trump. So I share this information with you. I pray you're blessed today. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.